I'm not going to say goldmine, but holy pants, this is awesome. Yes, hello Jeep aficionados, it's Greendot 319. How are you all doing? Today, as usual, we've got something different for you, something we haven't seen before, something I've been putting off doing, but I think the time is now because it's grey and cold and going into winter, and I think it's time to start cheering ourselves up by opening some early Christmas presents. So what are we going to be unboxing today then? Well, we've got these two nice new old stock boxes from World War II we're going to be having a look in. Now, the interesting thing about these two old boxes here is I don't actually know exactly what's inside it, so we're all going to find out today. They're both for deep water fording. As we all know, the World War II Jeep is not waterproof. You could not take it deep water fording without the thing filling up with water, your generator getting full of water, your electrical system getting full of water, and it stopping and dying in the middle of where you needed to be. So they had to make a supplementary deep water fording kit. Now, usually the deep water fording kit is a huge crate and you got it for a sort of a company level. There was enough in there to do a whole load of Jeeps. It contains all sorts of tubing and wiring and things like that. It also contains this thing here, the supplementary accessory mounting kit. Don't know exactly what the contents of it are, so we're going to find out today. Now, on top of it is another interesting box, because again, I don't know what's in it. It has a contents label on it. It's a British deep water fording kit from 1949, I believe. Tell you what, there's nothing to cheer you up like opening old boxes which have never been opened. Now, some of you might think it's a shame to start opening things like this, new old stock. Shouldn't we just keep it and look after it forever and have it on our shelves and, you know, that's it, it lives forever? Interesting point about this. I've been thinking about this a lot. And new old stock stuff is a funny thing because it's not often in the best condition. It sits inside people's garages, it sits inside old workshops and things like that. It gets forgotten, it gets wet, and when you come to open it, this has got a bit of water damage already. You know, we'll see what it's like inside. But just because it's new old stock and been sitting around for years doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect inside it. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth just holding on to this stuff till it eventually decays and rusts away and, you know, it's still new old stock, but it's just destroyed inside? Or is it better to get it out and use it? Now, that is a question I've been wrestling with a lot. And what I've come to the decision is that I should really use it just for that exact reason, because you never know, it's sitting around on a shelf or in your garage or something like that. Doesn't mean it's going to be safe. There are loads of workshop fires and things which happen. You know, it doesn't mean that this stuff is going to survive forever. So really, you should just get out and enjoy it. The other thing as well is, of course, you know, when you pass on, your kids, what are they going to do with all this stuff? They're just going to find it. If it hasn't got batteries, they're just going to chuck it in the bin, aren't they? You know, grandpa's old crap that he held on to for years and years. So really, we should get it out and enjoy it. And especially if I can show people like you this stuff, I think it's well worth it. Well, here we go. We've got that label again. Beautiful box. Look how nice, look at how shiny those staples are after all these years. Looks like the outer packaging was really good on this. Sometimes you can have outer packaging which looks great, but the insides are still all ruined and the staples are all rusty. But that's beautiful. So should we have a look inside the basic waterproofing kit, the British basic waterproofing kit for the Ford Willys Jeep? Here we go. Let's open her up. Wow. Okay. There's, yeah, cardboard. Let's have a look. Well, here's the contents of our British basic waterproofing kit. Should we break into it? I want to know whether this fabric, this cotton fabric here, is going to be OD or not, or whether it is just an oiled sort of colour to it. I'm guessing it's just going to be oiled, but it would be awesome if we could get a proper OD colour out of it. Just looks like oiled cotton, just like it says. Nothing exciting, not OD or anything like that, not particular thick weave or anything, just an oiled cotton for waterproofing. I imagine you wrap the cables up. We obviously haven't got a manual for this to work out exactly how it all works, but I imagine you just wrap up the cable and what have you to keep it all waterproof with your oiled canvas. So that's that. Too bad. Sadly not OD, won't get a colour match off that. What about a 40s Jubilee clip? Let's see what that looks like. Obviously this is different. We didn't use Jubilee clips on the Jeep. We use all sorts of different other clips, but not a Jubilee clip. These should be pretty good. It's what we use today for lots of securing things. Oh, zinc coated. Look, it's started to degrade a bit. Zinc's obviously quite reactive. Ooh, covered in some sort of horrible zinc bug or something. Any markings? No, just a basic clip. Looks sort of air hose size, I reckon. Yeah, interesting. Okay then, and the next one, the air lever. We got to work out what this is for. Is this what they mean by a throttle or a hand throttle? I mean, that's what I can think of. What else? Air lever. Unless there was some way of diverting the air supply to the engine and you swung this lever to do it. I really don't know. We need to find the British water manual, the water fording manual, because it's not the same as the American, and find out exactly what this is for. Let's have a look. What does our air lever look like? Oh, look, see? Even though it's been well sealed, this is what I'm talking about with NOS, even though it's been well sealed, look, rusty, rusty trusty. Just what happens when something sits in a box, not in a nitrogen atmosphere. There we go, wow, simple. Simple as war economy, British war economy, look at that. Just bent, not covered in any sort of preservative or anything like that. Simple welds, you can see all the heat checking to it and what have you, but does it move? No. The air lever does not want to move. Oh, there we go. Yeah, look, it just pulls. So you use the Bowden cable with the inner and the outer, and obviously you can just pull the cable. Now, it's got a square profile to attach it to it. Now, there's nothing on the Jeep which is square like that. Let's have a quick look round. If we look round here where you'd be standing up to operate your air lever, here, it needs to attach something square in profile. Well, this isn't square in profile if you were standing, so it can't be that. You know, it has to go round a sort of a pole. There is nothing that I can spot easily here if you had it around here to stand up to drive the Jeep and to operate this as an air lever, as a throttle perhaps, or something else. Yeah, it looks like you have to attach something to use it. We're going to have a look into this and see what we can find. I reckon we can probably find some information about it. Well, would you believe it? The internet has delivered again. I've happened to find a 1949 video of the British Army doing some waterproofing trials with the Jeep. It shows what I think is the air lever in use here. You can see there's an upright next to the driver there, and it must be that square upright that they put in to attach that little lever to. Usually the American Army would have a exhaust pipe going up on that upright, but they don't seem to have an exhaust pipe going up here. But look what happens when he gets in the water. He stands up and he pulls that lever down. Now, it's a little bit strange. If that's an accelerator, you know, he takes his foot off the accelerator and pulls down the hand accelerator, surely it would be already set in the correct position. Why would he have to swing it down when he goes in the water? It seems a little strange. And the fact it's called an air lever rather than a throttle or a hand throttle sort of makes me think that perhaps it isn't a throttle, even though perhaps it looks like he's doing that there to use it as a throttle. Who knows? There's not enough information here to really work out exactly what's going on, but interesting to see the little kit that we've just taken apart actually in use in 1949. Well, then the British kit showed us that keeping stuff NOS forever is not such a good idea, as it's all starting to corrode in there. Should we break into the big box? We don't know what's in this one, so this is going to be quite interesting. It's a great big heavy box. It's got an inspection stamp on there by Mr. or Mrs. B. Wojciech? Wasn't Wojciech the bear in World War II? I'm pretty sure there was a bear called Wojciech in World War II. Looks like Wojciecki. Yeah. Ooh. So then, here she is. Quantity 1, nomenclature, accessory mounting, stock number, order drawing number, manufactured by the Merkel Metal Products Corporation. Remarks, none. Date pack, September 1952. Awesome. It's got some great stamps on it as well, the inspection stamps and the old cardboard container ability, or whatever it is, the specification for the box in there. That's pretty cool. Shame to cut through this, but there's one on the other side as well, but I think this is how we're going to get it open. So let's break in, cut through this stamp. Sorry, stamp. Right, let's play what's in the box. Here we go, from the Merkel Metal Corporation of America. Packing material to start off with. Okay, here we go. Oh, that looks minty mint. Fantastic. Let's have a look. Fantastic. It's like Christmas. I don't even know what any of this is. Let's have a look. It's like past the parcel. December 1951. Grease water pump, £1 can. Inspected and accepted. A £1 can of water pump grease. What? What's that got to do with waterproofing? Okay, grease water pump. Like the water pump on the front of the engine. Okay, well, there's a £1 can of water pump grease in there. Sweet. I imagine there may be others. Yeah, another £1 can of water pump grease. Strange. Obviously, they really need to grease your water pump for when you go fording. I'm not entirely sure about that one. Is this another one? Oh, yeah, grease water pump. Another one. We're going to have to definitely look in one of these. We've got 3 of them so far. Packaging material. Twine, jute twine for tying stuff up when you're waterproofing, I imagine. You know, there might be some oiled cloth in here as well. You need to tie it on. So we've got a bit of jute twine. Oh, there's some big cans or big somethings. Gasket. Really heavy can of gaskets. Feels like a can of gaskets. Okay, amazing. What are we going to do with a can of gaskets? I mean, obviously waterproofing and gaskets go together. A big can of them though is unusual. Another one. More gasket. Another can of gaskets. Awesome. Getting quite a collection here now. Gaskets. They love gaskets. Wonder if they're all different or if they're all the same. I'm guessing it's gaskets again. Yes, you guessed correctly. Well done. You have won the car. Now, what's this big thing? Usually now you'd say that's a recyclable padding material, but I don't think it is. Packaging material. I think it's something else. Pad. Okay. Padding. Pad. Oh, awesome. It's all 1952, March 1952, all inspected and stamped and things like that. There we go. We don't need to break into this one. We can see it's an olive drab padding of some description, so to wrap stuff up in and put the waterproofing material over it, maybe that water pump grease or something like that. But there you go, that's broken into already there. Sweet. So there's a whole load of padding there. Then kit number, mounting accessories, manual, but it doesn't say manual, it says Manuel. They put Manuel in here. TM9 and 2853. Okay, we've got a Manuel. That's awesome. So we know what we're going to do. This should be interesting. I hope it isn't Manuel or bits of him. And then is this another Manuel? Another Manuel, not TM9 2853. So we've got 2 of those in there. Let's have a look inside some of this stuff. This is pretty cool. Have you ever seen a manual in its 1950s packaging? Very cool. 1950s manual. Maybe that'll tell us exactly what we've got and what we're supposed to do with it. Oh, look. Wow. Check it out. TM92853, 7th of July, 1945. Beautiful. This is a big manual. Jeez. Oh my. I've got to show you this close up. This is huge. Oh, look. Here we go. These are our bits N. I think that's November. Paint synthetic. No, that's not what we're looking for. Oh man, we're going to have to go through all this. There's tons in here. Jeez. Wow. Okay, if you want to know how to waterproof a vehicle in World War II, we've got 2 Manuels which tell us exactly how to do it. I'm not going to say goldmine, but holy pants, this is awesome. This is really something. It covers all the World War II vehicles, gun carriages. Look at it all. Tells you what you need for each one. Of course, the World War II Jeep is in here. We'll come to that in a second. Look, there we go. Old Jeepy. Wow. So we've got some of the parts, you know, we haven't got all this stuff. We haven't got the hoses and what have you. We've got the accessory kit out of what you need. Look, there's gaskets. It'd be interesting to see what those gaskets are. We've got some of it in here. I mean, I'm going to have to go through here and find out what it all is. First off, I reckon let's break into some gaskets and have a look. I mean, feel like they're in a can to me. Should we find out what they all are? What gasket would you need? All for the same, all the same, which would cover lots of different vehicles. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's try and avoid getting into this. Oh, gasket. Right. It's not gaskets. There we go. Wow. It's a huge roll of gasketing rubber for use in waterproofing, obviously. So that's why it's a single type of gasket, because you can use it for anything. You cut it up. What does it smell like? Neoprene. Smells like neoprene. Smells like modern neoprene. Doesn't smell weird rubber or anything like that. Neoprene. Wow, awesome. That is in exceptional condition. Unbelievable. Okay, cool. So you can use it on all sorts of vehicles, can't you? Gasketing, rubber, wind it all up. So that now we know what it is. It's not a can full of gaskets. it's actual rubber. Okay, next thing, let's look inside one of these water pump cans and see what we get in here. What is this? Maybe we'll find out something different with this as well. Right, let's try and unravel the secret of the water pump grease, because if that gasket wasn't a gasket, it's actually gasketing material, maybe this is something different as well. Something smells kind of funky in here. It's not the neoprene, it's kind of a, I don't know, it's like a semi-acrid sort of stink, and I don't know what it is. Is it going to be this? This is sealed in cans. Where's my blade? How am I going to open this? Here we go. Right, let's just dive in. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Oh wow. Oh, cool. Water pump lubricant. So they call it water pump lubricant, Alamite. This cool old tape again, this fabric tape. It's pretty strong stuff. It's lost all its stickiness now. Contents, £1. All lubricants marked under the brand named Alamite are made to fit specific lubrication requirements, not built to a price. They're manufactured from the finest oils and fats. There, it tells you about the time this comes from. Obtainable and are free from grit. Well, you'd bloody hope so. Acids or any foreign substances. This is an Alamite lubricant for every lubrication need. The makers of the famous Alamite high pressure lubrication systems and stand behind them with an unqualified guarantee of quality. Wow, that is high praise indeed. Should we try and get in this and see if this is the waterproofing compound or whether it just is a water pump grease, because we need to find out what the hell they were using this for. Okay, let's get into this. I'm hoping this is waterproofing compound and not just a grease. You know, it's sold as water pump lubricant or whatever, but maybe it's the grease, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's something completely different. Let's have a look. Is it all stuck together? No, it's coming apart nicely. First rule of water pump grease club is don't stab yourself in the hand. She's coming. Something still smells funky in this. Is this it? Is this what smells funky? It's not the nicest smell in the world. It reminds me of electronics. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yes, it is grease, everyone. It looks like, yeah, it looks like a normal grease. It feels like grease and it smells funky. Yeah, I mean, that looks like usable grease. I don't think it's the asbestos waterproofing compound though. I think it is just water pump grease. What are they doing with that? Interesting. We need to look into this further. We need to break into Manuel and find out exactly what this is for, because I really don't know. Let's have a look. What an absolute gold mine. I just had a quick look through the Manuel, and apparently then the water pump grease is used with these pads. These pads go on things like artillery where they've got sharp bits which stick out. You put a pad over the sharp bit, and then that prevents, when you put it in a sort of a bigger bag, it prevents the sharp bit from poking out and breaking open the bag and destroying its waterproofing. When you put some of the canvas tape around stuff, you smear the grease over it to add an extra layer of water pumping as well, waterproofing as well. So it's not used for a water pump, it's just a grease that they did. It's not the asbestos waterproofing compound which we're looking for use on the Jeep. That all comes in the much bigger pack, not this just little accessory pack that we've got here. But absolutely incredible to break into it. Amazingly, for new old stock, it's in perfectly mint condition from 1950s. Very, very surprising that. Compare that to the British pack there where there's a bit of corrosion got in. Quite interesting to see. I would use this on a vehicle today with no problems whatsoever. It's almost in as new condition. Very, very impressive. But there we go, a little bit of Jeep unboxing then. I bet you didn't expect you get to look in some of these today, but now we know what's in there. Next time I'm going to get out the big box with all the stuff in it and we'll try and do a bit of waterproofing to this Jeep, but that'll be in a few months when I get hold of it. But until then, like and subscribe and I'll see you next time. Cheers.